Welcome to a silver update. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on around silver at the moment, as you know. However, I do believe this is all basically just hyperbole. I do believe that silver will actually turn down shortly, but I don't mean turn down as in crash. No, I don't mean that at all. Long-term bullish silver, yes. Up in a straight line, no, I don't believe that, right? And that's because I know the patterns. If you know the long-term pattern, then you stand a chance at actually making some decent money off this. Depending on how you approach it, you could approach it from a futures trading perspective, or you can choose from just an investment point. Now, from a long-term investment point, yeah, absolutely, you could definitely hold on to that. But what happens if you could buy it cheaper? Why wouldn't you buy it cheaper, right? So, what's the whole pattern? Let's talk about it. So, basically up until the 80s, you had the first leg up, right? And then you basically need a correction. So long-term correction, you've had our A, B, C at the GFC level. This is a very similar pattern to gold, by the way, but slightly different. Now, now we're in a D wave. Okay, we're in a D wave. So what is this? It's a zigzag, right? It's going to be a zigzag. So let me just copy this here. Right. So the main point I want to make here, first of all, whilst I'm playing with my fancy colors, is that the move down since 2011 was simply put an A wave. All right, it's an expanded type 2 zigzag if you're looking at it in the AriasWave lens. Because what other pattern do you think that is, right? If you don't know the pattern, then what are you doing trading this thing, right? It's all based on emotion. It's all based on guesswork. Right now, the current move is basically the start of another zigzag, right? So we've seen the first leg up of that first zigzag. So what are we going to see next? All right, let's go to the 4-hour chart. Okay, let's take a look at this pattern. What is this pattern? It's a 5-wave move. Is the 5-wave move almost complete? It's getting there. I see a 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, we're in 5 now. What do you know? So all this stuff going on with, in the media, with people trying to short squeeze silver, you're probably going to get burnt, right? I'd be very careful. It's very speculative at the moment, right? Let's have a look at the MACD. Okay. Now in the MACD, you can see that wave 3 was the strongest, and now we're just getting basically the last move up. Okay. So all this frenzy is basically just to create that last move up in this market. Right, now if you look at it on a daily chart, you can see quite clearly that wave 3 was the strongest, and now we're basically going to be heading into weakness shortly. Okay, so if you're buying this up, you better be ready to sell at a profit because this thing's going to correct, right? It's going to correct. All right, so hang on a sec, sorry about that. So if you want to actually be trading this properly, you'd want to be waiting for that correction to happen. Okay, at this point in time, I don't think it's a good time to be getting into this, even though it appears that way. There will be a correction shortly, and how far that goes, whatever, I'm just going to be tracking the waves to see when the end of that correction is, because I want to be trading. So if this is the A wave, all right, let's just put it into perspective quickly, shall we? Okay, fractal patterns. I use AriasWave. I created AriasWave. I know the patterns, and I know. Oops, hang on, that's up here. I know when something's about to end. So it's basically, yeah, it's the last leg up of this particular move, right? I just explained that to you. So now we're going to see a B wave, right? A wave B. Now how far that comes back could be probably around 50%, right? Minimum. Okay, so where's that going to be? You know what? It might be 50, it might be 0.618, but whatever it is, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be looking for the waves, and the waves are going to be the ones that tell me the deal, right? So I want to be trading the C wave of this, the C wave being as long as this in that direction like this, right? And that's just going to be the B wave, okay? And there's going to be lots of other stuff going on after that before we get to the main meat of the move. And the main meat of the move would be something that is this size. Could be a bit longer, right? So at some point, this is going to do this, right? And now that's basically just getting warmed up, right? Once we get warmed up in this scenario, that'll be D. We're going to see another move down, and then basically it's off to the races, right? I don't even want to tell you where that's going to go because it's going to be pretty high, right? So there's a path to where we're going. It's not a straight line. That's the one thing you have to understand, especially all the people who just basically piling into this thing like it's going to the absolute moon. And be very careful. That gap's going to be closed, all right, at some point. Okay. So that's a quick rundown on silver. I do plan on covering this market more moving forward as it becomes more interesting and tradable, right? I do see more. How can I put it? I'm probably going to see more of an easier path to follow in this market than gold, right? Although I'll be tracking both of them, I do see some pretty cool potential here, and it could happen sooner rather than later. But for the time being, I'd just be careful of this market. It'll probably go a little bit higher. I'll give you the target that I believe it'll hit. Actually, that's probably that one. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, so basically around that white line, just guessing, it could be a bit higher, right? Basically, just take the length of wave one, this wave here, and about the same length as that, right? That's roughly what I see happening here. So you can measure that using certain techniques, but I'll let you do that. It's not that hard. So basically that's it in a nutshell. So this is just like an introduction to me covering silver, and also like a little bit of a warning. Be careful because this is wave 5. After wave 5 comes a correction, etc. So hopefully you found this interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.